positive effects are that it facilitates convenience. It's very convenient when you don't have to go somewhere before you can get an information, but you can access so many things just from the safety or comfort of your own room or your own home. It also makes everything fast. Yeah, it's less stressful. Everything is just easily accessed.
So yes, one, to get for research purposes. Two, I feel internet has made it able to interact with people from all walks of life. So regardless of wherever the person finds him or herself, you're able to chat with the person through social media platforms. So yes,
I think with the introduction of internet, it has given us a broader perspective to learn. We can now learn broadly.
Positive effect of internet on education is that you have a lot of access to information. You can search anything you want to, discover, and there's a bunch of news articles. You can access a bunch of videos. It's just constant access of information.
Internet has had much effect on education positively, being that you see now it saves you a lot of time. The time that you have to go to the library to check certain books, you can just Google it and then get whatever you are looking for on the internet. And in some research areas as well, you easily get to know what's going on around the world and stuff like that easily. So I might say that that's a positive impact on education.
For me personally, I don't think it has had a negative effect on education. But what I may say for positive effects on education is the internet came at a very strategic point in the development of the world today, of the world globally today, in terms of education. For example, I am a music student. I'm a music and theater arts students combined major. There are certain stuff that we're doing in one of our classes. We have a music studio class that we're taking, and there are certain stuff that we are taking here. So when I take my phone and I access YouTube, there's some stuff that are very, when the lecturer is teaching me, because what he's doing is a practical course, so what he's doing is projected on the board, so you have to watch and then you have to do it. But when I take my internet and I go on YouTube, they actually do a step by step. For example, step 1, click on start. Step 2, do this. Step 3, and it has been very, very beneficial. That's number 1. Number 2, I had a friend who was writing her long essay, and in writing her long essay, what happened was, for long essays, when you're writing a long essay, sometimes the lecturer wants you to do a chapter, and when you finish the chapter, you print it and send it to him. He does the corrections, and you go back and you go and do, and you print it, and you send it back, and you go. So the same thing, and it's a waste of money, it's a waste of time, it's a waste of, a whole lot of stuff with printing and everything. So there was one lecturer who actually understood, and she said that, okay, the girl could just do the work and WhatsApp her wherever she gets to, she can WhatsApp the documents to her or send her the document through the email. She will do the corrections and send it back to the girl. So the girl literally did her long essay fully with her supervisor from her home or from her hall, and the only thing she did was submit the final work, which she printed later on to the lecturer. And it's very helpful. This couldn't have been possible without the internet. So the internet has a positive effect on education in this generation. It's good, it's wonderful, it helps education, it helps you to understand things better, it helps make things more concise, more simple.
For one, if for example, there's a change of venue for a class or for an IE or for an exam, the fastest way to disseminate information is through WhatsApp.
Wow.
And so if you don't have WhatsApp, or if you don't even have a phone that connects to the internet for you to even get WhatsApp, how would you know? Because nowadays the notices are not really effective. Yes, it's all about the WhatsApp messages. So if you don't have WhatsApp, you are out of the loop.
The internet is a teacher, and it has actually come to put to speed education. The lecturer might not always need to carry materials to students. If the lecturer is going to teach, he can actually send materials via internet for students to look at before. He can also give them, books on the internet to reference, read ahead before coming to class. If I have to have a backup of an idea, it gives me the room to Google, and then be able to do what I have to do to let the class, go on. So it has really become an educational tool, to communicate ideas, to search for information, to give information, knowledge, and all that. So these are all advantages as to why, the educational curriculum will have to use the internet.
Not that you can learn broadly, you can also learn the wrong things on the internet, because the internet is now cheap. Anybody can post their things on it, so you can, in as much as you are learning broadly, you can also learn the wrong things.
It serves as a distraction, because I see that sometimes in class other people are on social media all the time, like maybe on Instagram, how the teacher is lecturing or something. So that's one negative effect. It facilitates laziness, because students don't learn so much now anymore because everything is on the internet. So even if you have to research, go to the library, read a particular book, people will just go online and pick a summary of the book instead. And so it has made students become more lazy, more relaxed with their learning. And it prevents people from really coming together. For example, if you have a group work, people will be like, oh, let's do it on the page, instead of meeting and then having that kind of relationship bonding whilst doing the group work. People just stay in their rooms and just do it online. So that's another negative effect.
Usually we are supposed to be using it for educative purposes, but then we find ourselves abusing it. One of them, I would say, is the use of mobile phones for watching pornographic sites. So you go, a student is supposed to be learning, but you find a person, always visiting pornographic sites because they want to, for obvious reasons, satisfaction, sexual satisfaction and all of that. And I feel it's a hinder to academic progress, because then again you are glued to your pornographic sites more than your books or your research, and so I feel like you are limiting yourself as a student. So that has influenced, and then the use of games as well. So we find students having all sorts of games on their mobile phones when they're supposed to be using it for studies or something. You find them using it for playing games and all of that, and involving in unnecessary chats, chatter with people.
Okay.
So yes, a teacher is lecturing in the class, and you find the students on Facebook, on Instagram, chatting with whoever, which will not augur well for the students, for academic purposes. So, yes, I think these are a few of the negative effects of internet.
The disadvantage is now students don't go to the library to get first-hand information, or they don't even go on research fields to get information. And now, me like this personally, when I wake up in the morning, I don't think of anything else. I just go on my phone. Now students find it difficult. Now people find it difficult to eat because of the phone. They are so addicted to their phone. They are always glued to their phone. Yes. There are a whole lot of negative aspects of the internet, because now people are learning bad things from the internet, because people put out what they do, portray what they are about on the internet, and people tend to copy whatever they see on the internet.
The negative effect is, I've noticed, especially here, that when I manage to connect to Wi-Fi, I kind of just get distracted with social media and just texting people and contacting people. Whereas when I don't have Wi-Fi, I tend to do my work more, unless of course my schoolwork needs Wi-Fi, I need to research something or something like that. So it's both distracting and educating.
Negative aspect too. I think plagiarism has gone high due to internet. You see a lot of students just going on the internet and then copying somebody's work to present to the lecturer, and that is bad. That's basically the negative aspects.
The negative effect, sometimes, we all have certain desires and all that. The negative effect basically is divided attention and divided focus. That's mostly the negative effect, because sometimes you want to do a work, by the time you realize you're on social media chatting with a friend and all that, friend makes a comment, and by the time you realize you've spoken for 2-3 hours, and forgetting that you have to do this and this and this and this. So yeah, that's basically the negative effect is divided attention and diversion of course and vision and focus and everything. Yes.
It has become an issue where students can even hack into the exams room virtually and change their grades. Students, instead of learning, will not learn, and then just either go and then pick somebody's work, tweak it and bring it to class. These are some of the things. And then also not using it for the purpose or an intent. students, instead of probably researching to get their, they'll be downloading music and videos and films.